Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 sequel Avatar, Fire and Ash. The film is co-written and directed by James Cameron, and it stars Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Una Chaplin, Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, and Joel David Moore. Right, okay, this is the third in the series of Avatar films. This time round, Jake and Natini's family basically grapples with the grief of their son's death from the previous film. And then they encounter a new aggressive Na'vi tribe, a tribe that worships fire. They align themselves with the humans, Stephen Lang's character, because they hate the other Na'vi so much. But the conflict on Pandora escalates to a point where everybody has to basically fight for survival once again. Right, what are my thoughts on Avatar: Fire and Ash? Right. The Avatar series of films is a difficult one, really. Now, the first one, I didn't go to the cinema to see the first one, but I remember not really being that interested in it, and then I kind of watched it out of curiosity eventually, and yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent film. I still struggle to understand how it made so much money. But you know, it was decent film. The second one, Way of Water, I watched and reviewed on the channel. Again, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent film, well made, decent film, good effects, lots of action, blah blah blah. And now we have got the third one. Now, as James Cameron has said that he hopes this one does well because he's got another 2 stories to tell. Well, I'm sorry, but I found this one a bit of a chore. I'm not going to lie. It's far too long, over 3 hours. And it's one of those films that just never ends. And I'm not going to, you know, quite a few times watching this, I was clock watching. I'm like, I've had enough of this now. It just felt like... Well, it felt like the last film. I really struggled to remember some of the characters from the last film, some of the plot points from the last film. But it just felt like a rehashing of the last film. And it just feels like these films essentially all follow the same beats. Drama, family drama, relationship drama, some mini conflict, some mini action, bigger action, bit more action, you know, humans, Na'vi, going at it, bit more action, and then the film finishes with a massive battle. That seems to have been the blueprint for all the films, really. And I'm sorry, but it's getting tiresome now. And I'm not that interested in these characters, I've discovered now. I genuinely, I couldn't really point out anything major that happened in this film that kind of drew an emotion from me. I'm sure James Cameron thinks he is writing some epic masterpieces. I think he thinks he's George Lucas or something. I don't know. James, Mr. Cameron, please listen. These films will never be Star Wars. They'll never be remembered or revered like Star Wars. The more like cartoons than anything, these films, it feels like to me. The more like animated features. They don't get an emotion out of you. I don't remember feeling anything while watching this. I don't remember feeling excited. I don't remember feeling heartbreak. I don't remember feeling emotion from a character. they've all got their own paths, or the planet. Pandora is this wonderful, beautiful, special place that the Na'vi have got this connection with, and okay, we've had that message battered home to us now in the other two films, but they keep going at it, and they keep the relationship between Stephen Lang and Sam Worthington's character Jake. It's like that all the time. Will they, won't they? Kiss and make up. Will he, won't he join them? Will he, won't he have a relationship with his son that I'd completely forgotten about that was his son. It's I don't know. I just found the whole thing a bit frustrating and dull and repetitive. I wasn't invested in any of the really big battles. I mean, and let's get it right here. The effects here are just outstanding. I'm not here to criticize them. They look fantastic. The Na'vi look fantastic. The battle sequences all look really good, even if I couldn't work out who's who. Because now we've got Na'vi fighting against Na'vi. We've got this new clan that worship fire that have now villains of the piece as well. So they're now fighting Na'vi. So you've got Na'vi going against Na'vi as well as humans. It's just chaos in the sky. You don't know who's who. You don't know who's being shot down. You don't know who's, attacking who. And it's just chaos. And it's so predictable, the battle scenes, especially the big battle scenes. Starts off really extravagant and the Na'vi are kind of winning big time, taking the humans by surprise. Clearly they didn't learn from the last film or the first film, the humans. They just keep coming back for more. And then the humans come back really strong and they start taking over and they start killing everybody and everyone's in real danger and peril and all hope seems to be lost. And then guess what? They pull themselves off the floor and fight back and end up winning the battle. And it's just it's very, very old-fashioned stuff, very, very predictable. And that's really all I can say about the film. I just found it tiresome and predictable. And far too long. Oh, God, it was a real struggle to get through. And maybe, I don't know, it feels like a while since I've had to sit in the cinema and watch a 3+ hour film. And a 3+ hour film that I'm not particularly enjoying. It really does feel like a massive task when you're doing that. I just think maybe it's run its course, these Avatar films, and part of me wants the film not to do massively well because I want James Cameron to go back to making other stuff. I mean, he's a fantastic filmmaker. There's no denying that or, arguing that. I think he's just been swept up in these Avatar films now for too long. It's taken up like 15 years of his career, pretty much. We want something else from you, James Cameron. We don't want Avatar films anymore. I'm sure there's Avatar fans maybe out there. Maybe some of them might end up watching this review that completely disagree with me. That's fair enough. But I think for the neutral that just think the Avatar films up to this point have been okay, I've had enough of these movies now. I genuinely don't understand how the first two movies did so well. I suspect this probably is going to do well again. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash, guys. It feels like rinse and repeat to me. Obviously, big budget, big effects, all that kind of stuff. Real quality on screen, but really lacking in character depth, story, and, interest for the audience member. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts if you've seen the film, and I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.